Here are some things you can do instantly to improve your life. I think after the 1.5 years we've all had, we all need something that can just pep us up and make us feel happier and more positive. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new around here, then hi, my name's Sarah. I'm a doctor in the UK and I make videos about my life as a doctor, and I make videos to show you that it's absolutely possible to have a very happy and fulfilled life outside of a busy job. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about things you can do to instantly improve your life and your mood. So I was inspired to make this video by Tatiana James, who's another YouTuber that I absolutely love, and she sat down and brainstormed some things that you can do, that you can control, that will improve your own life. And it was such a great video. I watched it while I was doing the ironing and I came up with so many ideas. I could have kept going and going, but I've decided to make it into a video, and hopefully you guys will find something really useful out of this. And you know, as I said, after the 1.5 years we've all had, we all need a bit more light and positivity, and I want to show you in this video that a lot of being happy and being fulfilled is in your own control, and there are things that you can do instantly. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe if you'd like to see more of my content. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing you can do to instantly improve your life is to stop taking offence. Seeing the best in people, seeing the humour and the lighter side of life will definitely make you just have a better experience of life. I'm the sort of person who can get quite tightly strung, is that the right word? Wound up, and I can find myself taking offence to things quite easily, especially when I'm stressed and overwhelmed. But I've found that if I just relax and realise that people probably aren't meaning something in an offensive way to me, and trying not to take things too personally, I feel so much better. My partner Vince is the kind of guy, he's got such a great sense of humour, and he's really relaxed, and he just sees humour and happiness in everything. And I've learned from him that just seeing the lighter side of life and not taking everything personally is a so much better way to live. So yeah, I would encourage you to do the same. It's a real practice. It's something that I'm still working on, but yeah, it's helping me to feel kind of less anxious day to day. Next up is to take the emotion out of day-to-day things and to see them for what they actually are, rather than attributing an emotion to something immediately and assuming that you have to feel that way. So I'll give you an example. Imagine if you are running late to something and you're stuck in traffic. Immediately you start thinking, oh, that's stressful, I could feel angry, I could feel frustrated. But if you look at it objectively, you are in a car that is not moving very fast. Yes, okay, you want to get somewhere and you have somewhere to be. But if you just become more present in the moment and take the emotion out of it, you can just enjoy the car journey, listen to some music, listen to a podcast, chat with whoever's in the car with you, and not assume that you have to get stressed and frustrated about things. The other one that I've been thinking about a lot recently is that I have loads on my to-do list and I'm very busy, and I think that sometimes we feel as though we have to feel stressed about certain things in order to get things done, but I've been trying to remove the emotion from that and just realise that they're just things that need to be done. There doesn't need to be any stress or worry or frustration about it, and it's making me feel loads better, so I wanted to share that with you. Next up is to really listen when people are talking to you. This will make so much of an impact on your relationship with your friends and your families and your partner. Listening without thinking about what you should say next, or jumping in with a story or your own personal experience, and just being curious and interested in what they're saying, asking more questions and diving deeper into actually what they are talking about. It will make that person feel heard. You'll probably get into a deeper conversation. In medicine, doctors are taught something called the golden minute. When a patient comes into your consulting room, you should ask them an open question. So an open question is one that doesn't have a fixed answer like yes or no, and let them talk. Just let them get it all out and really listen to that time, really listen to what they're saying during that time. And they call that the golden minute because they found that patients normally talk for an average of about a minute before they stop. And I've found that I get so much more out of my conversations with people when I do this, when I just really let them talk and I'm really trying to absorb it, looking at their body language and their non-verbal cues. And I've noticed that Vince and I communicate so much better when I really take the time to actively listen. So I wanted to again pass that on to you. Number 4 is a bit of a mantra for me for life, and it is to remember that everything is temporary. Now this is something that I remind myself of on a regular basis, and I feel like it helps me so much with good stuff and bad. Being a doctor reminds me, unfortunately, that life is short and very, very precious, and that I don't want this video to get too negative, but we never know how long we have left on this planet or how long we have left with our friends and family, and we should cherish those moments, remembering that the good things are temporary and really just trying to absorb all the love and joy in the world and taking things for what they are. But I also like remembering this phrase that everything is temporary when things are going bad, because every single bad thing that you've been through in your life, you have come out of the other side. You might be going through something bad at the moment, but you will come out the other side and things will change. When I was going through a really bad time at work, I remember just trying to remind myself of this, that everything is temporary, that this won't be the job that I'm doing for the rest of my life, that this shift will end, and yeah, I wanted to pass that mantra on to you for good times and bad. Number 5, make an effort to commemorate life's special occasions. These are the things that we'll look back on, won't we, and be like, oh, do you remember that party or this thing going on? I mean, obviously it's difficult at the moment with not being able to see everyone in person, but making an effort to send those thank you cards and even get well cards, birthday cards, writing special messages to people, and just doing things. They don't have to cost a lot, but doing things that are creative, create a treasure hunt, or fill a doorway with balloons or something. There's loads of ideas on Pinterest, but making special occasions special and not letting those special dates pass you by. Next up is to remember that you can be self-sufficient in your happiness. If you are trying to rely on other people to make you happy, then you are onto a losing streak, my friend, because happiness, this sounds so cheesy, but happiness is an inside job. And we are in control of whether or not we're happy about something. And if you're waiting for someone to take a certain action or do a certain thing or be a certain way before you're happy, then that's not fair on them and it's not fair on you. So an example that I heard on a podcast recently is a Susan Hyatt podcast that I listened to. It's so upbeat, it makes me feel so good. She was talking about how she had been waiting for her husband to take her on a trip to Italy, and every year she would hint to him, and she kept talking about how life would be so great if they could go on this trip to Italy, and she kept waiting and waiting, and every time they would go on a holiday, it would be somewhere local or not exactly what she was hoping for. And she ended up creating this drama around it and feeling really resentful towards her husband. And when she actually spoke to her husband about it, he hadn't realised that that's what she was waiting for. So there weren't those open lines of communication. And she decided to just go ahead and book the trip herself. And she had such a good time. They went and really enjoyed it together. And she realised from that moment onwards that she shouldn't be waiting for someone else to do something in order to be happy, that you can't just delay your happiness and put it on someone else. That was a really strong message, and I think we can all learn a lot from that. I feel like as a doctor I kind of have to mention these 3 things, but looking after your body is so important for both your physical and mental health. The big 3 things that you need to focus on are your nutrition, your exercise habits, and your sleep. And trying to incorporate good habits into your day-to-day life around those will make you feel so much better physically and mentally. Next up is to realise your own influence on the energy in a room. Have you ever noticed those people that go into a room, they greet everyone, they light up the room, everyone feels really jovial and relaxed around them, and then you also get those people who just suck the energy out of the room. They're like rain clouds, they just bring some negativity. Sometimes you feel like you're walking on eggshells around them, other times you just feel like you want to completely avoid them altogether. Just remembering that whatever your emotion is, it is contagious, and that you have a lot of influence over other people's emotions, so try and be mindful of that. Our next one is to start saving. Oh my goodness, I have made so many money mistakes in the past. I actually have a whole money series playlist on my YouTube channel if you want to go and have a look at that. But I wish I'd started saving earlier and that I had planned an emergency fund. So I would encourage you to start saving, start doing it now, and build yourself an emergency fund that you have access to for if things go wrong and you need some cash urgently. And if you already have yourself an emergency fund built and you are getting yourself out of debt, if you are in debt, then to think about starting to invest. And again, this is something that I'm doing now and I have been doing for the last few years, but I wish I'd started earlier. So I wanted to pass that on to you. I can talk about that in future videos if you're interested. But yeah, go check out my money series if you want to hear some of the stupid mistakes I've made with money. And last couple of points. One is to get out into nature. This is something I've been doing a lot more recently, and I'd like to think that a lot of people have been doing in lockdown more than they necessarily would do otherwise. We've had more time away from work, from our offices, and had more chance to go out for walks. And just being out in nature is something that you can do today that will make you feel so much better, just lift your mood, and yeah, it's very calming, isn't it? And finally, and I think this is a really big one, do something that you want to do with your life. Remember that you are the one that has to experience it. You are the one who has to actually live it. And if you are just following a path, a career path, or doing things just to make someone else happy because you feel duty bound and that you have to, that you aren't living to your full potential. You're always going to live with some resentment. You're never going to be doing things because you feel so excited and happy to be doing them. You will always be doing things out of a feeling of duty, and that's not a recipe for a happy life. So spend some time figuring out what you actually want to do with your life, and then make the plans to make that happen. Many years ago, I had this crazy dream that I wanted to give up the idea of doing like a good paying graduate job and go and retrain as a doctor, and I am so glad that I did that. A lot of people thought I was crazy at the time, but I'm so happy that I made that radical decision, and I would encourage you to do what you want to do with your life as well, even if other people think it's crazy. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you've watched all the way to the end, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my content. I'll catch you next time. Bye!